Hi, everybody. I apologize. I am about 5 minutes late getting to you. We were supposed to start at 6:30. My phone decided to stop working. And then I went to Verizon today and we couldn't fix it. And so I'm getting a phone in the mail tomorrow. So I'm using my husband's phone, and I had to do some finagling to get to this Neolomison page to be able to send the video through this page. So I apologize about that, and hopefully folks will join and we can do some yoga tonight. I'm set up in my bedroom, and we are going to be doing a gentle session tonight. You want to make sure that you have a couple of blocks that you can use. And also we're going to be doing some shoulder work and maybe a little bit with our quads using the strap. So have the couple of blocks and the strap. Last Monday we did some vinyasa. We did a good bit standing up, and so I thought this time we would go a little more gentle, just to set the tone for the importance of self-care as we enter into this new week. So happy Monday, everybody, and namaste. So let's begin. We're just going to sit up nice and tall. You could actually take one of those blocks if you wanted to and sit on the edge of that block. And especially if when you sit down on the ground, you tend to round through the back. We want to give the hips a little bit of height if that's happening, so that we can take some of the pressure and strain off of your lower back. Okay, but if it's okay with you to sit up nice and tall, and we're not rounding when we do that, then you don't necessarily need the block. Close your eyes or send your gaze downward, softening to the eyes. And just start tuning into your rhythm of breath. Breathing in through the nose, back out through the nose if you are able. And at first, especially, we're not trying to control the breath in any way. We're just noticing that rhythm. A lot of times that rhythm will start to naturally slow down as soon as we just pay it a little bit of attention, a little bit of awareness. So not only noticing the rhythm of your breath, but noticing what parts of your body are moving with the breath. So a lot of times when you tell someone to take a deep breath, their chest will heave up really high, kind of like that. And it might look like you've taken a big breath in, a deep breath in there, but what you've actually done is you've taken kind of a shallow breath, because we're not engaging the diaphragm when we allow the chest to have so much movement. So instead, think about doing that diaphragmatic breathing here, trying to get in touch with that a little bit. And so the way we practice this, oftentimes we'll have one hand on the chest, kind of at that heart center, and the other hand on the navel. And we just make sure that the chest stays relatively level as we breathe in, but it's the navel that moves out as we take that breath in. And then as we exhale, the navel moves back in. Chest, again, stays relatively level. And so you master that with the hands there to guide that process. And over time, you don't even need the hands there. You can feel when you're engaging in that belly breath. So we can do that lying down or sitting up like we're doing now. So continuing to breathe in that way, start checking in with yourself, noticing how you're feeling on that mental level. How are you emotionally today? We're moving into full-on fall. We've had Halloween. We're moving in toward the Thanksgiving season and just the holiday season in general. And so things get busy. And just given everything we're dealing with this pandemic, things are getting a little bit more complicated too, with how we are Oh, is it sideways? Oh no. With how we're trying to figure out how to celebrate this time. Thank you, Cindy, for letting me know it was sideways. Let me fix that. So just checking in with yourself emotionally. Is that better? Hopefully. Hopefully it is. Okay. And then, as always, checking in with yourself, physically noticing how you're feeling in your physical body. And so we're rooting down to the sits bones. We're lifting up through the midline of the body, reaching up through the crown of the head. Notice my shoulders are rolled open. And I'm just allowing the shoulder blades to slide down my back body. Good. Breathing here. And this is always a good time to see if an intention comes up for your practice. You can set that intention for yourself if it does. And you don't have to tell anybody what that intention is, so it can be super personal, super meaningful, whatever you want it to be. And then what we do is throughout our practice, as we get a little more busy, even though we're going to be doing a gentle session, we'll get busier in a second. If the mind starts to wander as we move into the asana part of the practice, the postures, then we just bring our awareness back to this intention that we're setting for ourselves now. So when you're ready, from here, we're going to transition to the hands and knees. So if your eyes were closed, just let them blink open. We're going to transition on to the hands and the knees. Have your blocks somewhat handy because we will be using those in just a second. So if you need anything under the knees, if you have sensitivity through the knees, then go ahead and use a pillow or whatever else might help you with that. But we're going to get on the hands and knees, and we're going to start in our neutral spine. And so at first we're just going for length through the spine, reaching out through the crown of the head, pulling the navel in, reaching back through the sits bones, back behind you. And then we're just going to inhale into a dog tilt, and then exhale into your cat tilt, bringing the hips forward, tucking your chin. And a few more times like that. Inhale, dog tilt. Exhale, cat. This is a good one to do in the morning when we're tight from sleeping and muscles need to release a bit. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, dog tilt. Exhale, cat. And then we're just going to come into our first child's pose. So reaching your hips back, bringing your arms out in front of you, and letting your head either rest on the ground or on a block or on your hands. Breathing here. Feel the breath moving into the back body and that lower back body. 2 more breaths. And then slowly bringing yourself back upright. We're going to come back into a sitting position. And so this time let's have the left leg in front of the right leg so that we're all on the same page. And so for most of us, this is going to be our non-dominant crossing probably. And we're just going to roll the shoulders back. Take a big breath in, and as the breath goes out, tuck your chin toward your chest. Inhale, roll your head to your left side. Exhale, tucking the chin back toward the chest. And then inhale, rolling the head to the right. Exhale, back to center. And just follow your rhythm of breath. Let these little head rolls follow that rhythm. Every time you exhale, the chin is coming back to center. Every time you inhale, you're visiting one side or the other. Back to center. Let's visit each side once more. Inhale, left. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, right. And then exhale, back to center. Inhale, lifting your head back up to a neutral positioning. And so we're going to come into, excuse me, a Kundalini pulse or Kriya. They call them Kriyas in Kundalini yoga. And all it is just a pulse, and we're going to utilize this pulse with the breath. And so this is the one, and I'll turn to the side to show you guys. This is the one where we're sitting up nice and tall. We have our hands on the kneecaps for support. And then with just my navel down, I'm going to inhale and come into a dog tilt, and then exhale and come into a cat tilt. So you might not be able to see what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to keep that movement isolated essentially to the lower part of my body. So the chest is staying basically level. Just inhaling dog tilt, exhaling cat. One more time. Inhale dog tilt and exhale cat. Now I'm going to make this movement bigger. So I'm going to inhale, roll my shoulders open and look up toward the ceiling. And then as I exhale, cat tilting, tucking the chin, rounding through the spine. 4 more times like that. Inhale, looking up, dog tilt, exhale, tucking the chin, cat tilt. 3 more. 2. And 1 more. And so this time I'm going to inhale, come forward and to my left, and then I exhale, I come into a little bit of a cat tilt back and circle to the right. So I'm doing these little trunk circles forward and to the left, inhaling, exhaling back and to the right. Inhaling front, left, exhaling, activate the core coming into that cat tilt as you move to your right side. 1 more time in this direction. And then we just do the same thing. We come center, and then we inhale right, exhale back, and left. Keep that going 4 more times here. I'm just going to go into the side to show you when I switch my crossing, and we do it with the opposite crossing. I'll face front, but it helps to face to the side. Good. Last one here, and then sitting up nice and tall. We're going to come into the next Kriya, and this is for strengthening through your core. And so for this one, we're either, we're going to sit up nice and tall, and as you can see, my back is extended. I'm not rounding and caving in through the chest. And so we're sitting up nice and tall. And for some of us, we're just going to lift the knees. And so we would inhale in this positioning, okay, and my fingers are out. We would inhale, reach out, and then we would exhale and lift the knees. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Okay, so that's our beginners. That's what our beginners will be doing, okay? Or if you have lower back issues, core lower back issues, be really careful there. Otherwise, we inhale here, and then we exhale, and we bring the knees in. I have my ankles crossed here, and I exhale, and I'm just kind of doing a little crunch. Inhale, coming up, exhale, and either just lifting the knees or bringing those feet off of the ground and still maintaining that length of the spine. 3 more, inhale, forward, exhale, activate the core, coming back. 2 more, forward, and coming back. 1 more, forward, and coming back. And then bringing yourself up, right. We're going to come into a forward fold here. So sitting up nice and tall, inhale. And as we exhale, we just come into that fold. And so making sure we're not trying to bring the head down, but we reach out through the chest. And we reach out through the chest while at the same time sending the sits bones down, planting them, plugging them into the ground. And that's what propels us deeper into the fold. It's not about moving down. It's about moving out. Reaching those sits bones down to anchor you. Let's take 3 more breaths. Maybe you're on your hands. Maybe you're down on your elbows, your forearms. Just see what's available to you. We don't want to be in any pain, but we definitely want to feel as though, we are on that edge. We're playing that edge. Okay, so one more breath. And then slowly walking your hands back in as you come upright. We're going to get back onto the hands and the knees, but we're going to come back to this sequence in just a second with our legs crossing the opposite way. So coming back to the hands and the knees, we're going to get into a little bit of shoulder opening with our blocks. So grab your 2 blocks. And we're going to basically position them to where our elbows are on top of the blocks, and then the head, the crown, or the forehead rather, will be resting on the ground in between your blocks. And so it gives us this big opening shoulder stretch. It also helps in this stretch to activate through the lymphatic system, and that's actually really good for our immune system health, okay? And we can all benefit from that right now especially. So here we go. In our child's pose, and remember, child's pose, you can always have your knees a little wider if you would like for them to be. I'm going to take my blocks and position them better to where you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm bringing my elbows onto the ground, onto the blocks rather, and then I have my hands in that Anjali Mudra, prayer positioning. And so I'm walking my elbows forward while reaching my hips back into the child's pose, Balasana, letting my forehead rest on the ground in between the blocks, and then bringing my hands together behind the neck. Breathing here. We're going to be here for about 10 full breaths. And so make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you feel like your edge is being played. But breathe. Try not to hold your breath. 5 more breaths here. Two more breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way back upright off of your blocks. We're going to come back into that sitting position, and just like I told you, we're going to change the crossing of the legs. So right leg crosses in front of the left leg now. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to go into those kriyas again, those kundalini kriyas again. So hands are on the kneecaps. And we start, remember, just the lower body down. So like navel down is what's going to be moving into that, dog tilt and cat tilt. So we inhale dog tilt, and then we exhale cat, pulling the navel in, rounding through the back. Inhale, dog tilt, exhale, cat. So I'm trying to keep my chest relatively level. Inhale, dog tilt, exhale, cat. Activating through the core one more time. Inhale, dog tilt, exhale, cat. So now we get more of the body involved. It's more dramatic. We inhale, roll the shoulders open, look up as we thrust the chest forward. And then we exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine. 4 more times. Inhale, big expansive move. Exhale, closing in. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Good. And then we're going to come back forward and to the left. Exhale back as we cat tilt, and to the right. Keep that going. Inhale forward, left, exhale back, right. 3 more. And I always tell folks, if that way of breathing does not work for you, that's fine. Just keep breathing. Make sure you're not holding the breath. 1 more circle in this direction. Then we come back to center, pause, and then move to the right. Exhale back and to the left. Inhale forward, right. Exhale back, left, or just breathe however you can. 3 more. This brings a lot of space and stretch into lower back and sort of the sides of the lower back. One more. And then we move to the opposite direction. Oh wait, I think we've already done that. I get to talking and I forget. So then coming back upright, we're going to reach our arms out in front of us. The arms are extended. And remember, this is the one where we reach out on the in-breath and the legs are relaxed. But as we exhale, we're either just lifting the knees for us beginners, or we're lifting and hugging those knees in toward the body like a crunch. Inhale forward. I'm going to scoot up a little bit so it's moving into the wall. Exhale back, either lifting the knees or the feet. Good. 3 more. Forward and back. Core is activated. 2 more. Forward and back. Last one. Forward, exhale, back. And then sitting up nice and tall, inhale. As we exhale, we're going to come into that forward fold. So maybe you're just on the hands, or maybe we're on the elbows. See what's available to you. Let your chin tuck somewhat so that the neck is long, and we're not inadvertently bringing any, compression into the cervical spine here. Breathing deeply, sending those sits bones down toward the ground, while at the same time reaching out through your chest. Breathing. One more breath. And then using your hands to help press you back upright. We're going to extend the legs out. And here again, we might be sitting on the edge of a block. We're not going to fold. We're just using this wide angle positioning to get a beginning stretch through the inner thighs and through the hamstrings. Okay, and so while we sit here, and remember, you can always bring your legs a little closer together if it's too intense. Okay, we'd want to be playing that edge, but we don't want to be past that edge in the area of pain. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall. We're going to stretch the wrists a bit. So take your right hand, make a sideways fist, then just pull the knuckles in toward you. So many of us have carpal tunnel issues, and that's why pretty much every time you take a class with me, we will be doing something to help stretch that area. Same thing other side, left hand, pull it in. And release. We're going to take this right foot in. Left leg is still extended. Toes of that left foot are just pointing straight up toward the ceiling. And so inhaling as I sit up nice and tall, exhaling, I'm coming in to a forward fold. This is going to get deep into that inner left thigh here. Breathing deeply. Hands on the ground or forearms on the ground. Remember, forward folds are some of the best poses that we can practice in the evening, especially because they're cooling, they're calming, they're these introspective sort of poses that we get into, and we get quiet, we settle. 2 more, breath here. And then use your hands to slowly press you back upright. Now when you come upright, inhale, reach your right arm straight up. And then as you exhale, we're going to start twisting toward this right side, bringing that right hand back down behind you. My left arm came across the body to rest on my right leg. And it's resting there. I'm not cranking myself deeper into the twist. I'm just using my breath to help me move more naturally, more deeply into the pose. 1 more breath here. And then slowly making your way out of the twist, coming back to center. So we're going to come up onto the hands, especially this right hand. And the way my phone is, I'm going to try to really explain it, because since it won't let me turn my phone sideways, it's kind of limiting me as far as what's in my screen. So next week this will not happen. I'll have my own phone and I'll be able to be better with that. So we're going to have this right knee on the ground. Right hand is in line with that right knee. Okay, can you see that? Yep. Good. And now my left leg is also on the ground in line with my right knee. And I'm just sort of on the inner edge there with that foot. Okay. So I'll get it turned on the right hand, on the right knee, reaching that left arm up here. Inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm going to come into a little pulse where I thread this left arm underneath the right, and I look back behind me. Okay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back behind as you sort of twist. 3 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, and twisting. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, twist. 1 more time. Inhale, reaching up. And then exhale into your twist. Up. And then we're going to lower ourselves back down. So put both hands on the ground to set that right hip down. Okay. And then same thing. We extend the legs out wide into that wide angle again, and we're going to grab our strap now. So grab your strap, or you could use the belt to a robe if you don't have a yoga strap. If this positioning is uncomfortable for you to sit in, then of course come into a different position. But we are purposefully challenging ourselves to sit in this straddle pose in an effort to bring some release and some stretch through the groin and the inner thigh. So inhale, reach your arms up, and then as you exhale, take your arms back behind you, either halfway or maybe they can come all the way down. See what's available to you. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower. Keep that going. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back. Inhale, back upright. And exhale, lower. I'm running out of space behind me here. 3 more. Up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Good. Keep it going. Last one, you guys. Up and down. Exhale. Inhale, back up. Exhale and lower. Good job. Take that strap, put it off to the side, and now we're just going to take this left leg in, this left foot in. The right leg stays extended. We're going to come into our forward fold here. Inhale, and then exhale. Start coming into that fold. Hands or elbows, forearms on the ground. See what's available to you here. You should be getting deep into that right inner thigh. And just notice when we do, one pose on one side and the same pose then on that other side, what are the differences from side to side? Usually, we have one side that's a little more open, a little more flexible, a little stronger, a little more balanced as well. So that's our dominant side. So just check in. Is this your dominant side or is this your non-dominant side? 1 more breath. And then just slowly walking your hands back in as you come upright. Inhale, reach that left arm up. And then as you exhale, start twisting towards this left side. Left hand comes back down onto the ground behind you. Right hand comes across the body to rest somewhere on this left leg. And every inhalation, we just extend through the spine. Every exhalation, we move a little more deeply into our twist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, twist. 1 more breath here. And then very slowly coming back to center. We're going to take our time coming onto this left knee, left hand, and the inner edge of that right foot. And so just like we did on the other side, you want it all to line up. And so left hand is on the ground in line with the left knee. My left foot is back behind me and my right leg is extended and on the ground. Right leg, right foot in line with the left knee and the left hand. Reaching that right arm up, inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to take this right arm under and look back behind me. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, under and look back behind you. 3 more times. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale. Keep it going. Inhale, reach. And exhale. And then 1 more time. Inhale, reaching up. And lowering the hand back down. Coming into a sitting position. So we're getting ready to recline. We're getting ready to lie down for our last few minutes of our session. And so take your time doing that, reclining onto your back. Have your blocks where you can, where they're handy, where you can reach them. But we're reclining onto the back and then just hugging the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. Here, Uppanasana. So it's like an upside down child's pose. And then hugging that right knee into the chest, extend the right leg up and start circling that foot around in one direction a few times. Just getting a nice hamstring stretch while at the same time stretching through that ankle. And then about 5 ankle rolls or so to the opposite side, or the opposite direction rather. Good. And then we're going to bend the knee a little bit, let go of the leg, and just start making little circles with the big toe while trying to keep the thigh somewhat still. It's mostly this lower leg, this shin and calf moving, and then move in the opposite direction, making those circles, keeping the core activated. Good. Same thing other side. Hug that left knee in. Extend that left leg up and start circling the foot at the ankle. Opposite direction of those circles. And then letting go of the leg so that the arms are we're hands free. Bending that knee and just making those circles with the big toe, about 5 in one direction, and then about 5 in the opposite direction. Good. Extend both legs up. Here's where we're going to grab our block. So actually have your feet on the ground so you can put the block flat under the hips and extend your legs skyward. And then we're just going to hang out here, hands free. So have your arms resting by your sides. Essentially, bringing a little bit of bend into the knees. And imagine as though the legs are resting on the wall. Now, if you wanted to scoot to the wall, to do legs up the wall with an actual wall, you could do that, but still have those hips elevated. Breathing here. And so just getting grounded. And we do that by tuning in with each and every one of our senses. So, what's one thing that you can see right now in the room where you're practicing? Be aware of any sounds that you might be hearing right now. I can hear the sound of my ceiling fan. Be aware of anything you might be able to smell or taste right now. And then finally be aware of anything touching your skin right now. If we can tap into and connect with those senses, be open to our senses, then we can feel a lot more grounded. And when we feel grounded, that's like the opposite of feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Okay? grounded, we're going to be able to handle challenges and maybe even see some of those challenges as opportunities rather than as things that are, arising to put us out, or, because everything goes wrong, or whatever story we tell ourselves that just brings suffering. So when you're ready, let the feet come back down. And we're going to grab our blocks, put them off to the side for right now. We're going to come into just a little reclined twist before we move into Shavasana. So if you have lower back issues, remember for you folks, you're going to keep your feet on the ground when we twist. But otherwise, we hug the knees into the chest. We extend the arms out by our sides. We take the knees first to the left side while rooting that right shoulder down. You might have your head just facing the ceiling, or maybe turning to your right side. Inhaling, extending through the right side of the body. Exhaling and twisting. Slowly bring that head back to center if you turned it. Bring your knees back to center. And then exhale, take the knees to the right side. Now we're rooting down to that left shoulder. If we allow the shoulder to just come off of the ground, well, we've lost the twist. We've lost the stretch then. And so remember to not allow the ego to take you out of the proper expression of a pose, or your edge in a pose. 2 more breaths. Bringing the head, bringing the knees back to center. Now, if you have your 2 blocks for Shavasana, we're just going to take the blocks under our thighs, flat, so we can extend the legs out, okay? Just like that. And I'm actually going to sit up while you guys do Shavasana, just so that I can talk us through, and my voice isn't all muffled. So finding all of those points of contact between the back body and the ground. And so noticing, the back of the sacrum and how that's on the ground. Notice, maybe you're using the blocks, so notice the backs of the thighs touching the blocks. Notice the backs of the heels of the feet touching the ground. If you're not using the blocks, maybe you feel more of the legs, the backs of the legs touching the ground. Maybe you feel your calves touching the ground. We feel the backs of the shoulders making contact with the earth, and we feel the back of the skull making contact with the ground. And through all those places of contact, the places I've named, and maybe some areas of the body you've noticed that I haven't said out loud, through all of those points of contact, invite whatever tension is left in your body or left in your mind to melt out of you into the ground through those points of contact. We can even use the breath to help us with this process. Every time we inhale, we feel the space in the body, we feel the extension through the spine. But every time we exhale, we invite that tension to melt out, those points of contact, into the ground. Let the ground hold all of that tension, all of that stress for you, so that you don't have to hold on to it any longer. Every exhalation, we release a little more deeply. Every exhalation, we might feel a little more open. We might feel a little lighter even. Just noticing how you're experiencing this. without any judgment. There's no right or wrong way. We're just doing the best we can. And so I'm glad you guys were able to join me. If you want to stay and rest a little bit longer, then that's the beauty of doing this, streaming this class rather than being at the library together, which I can't wait until we are practicing like that again. But for now, we'll enjoy the perks of doing this online, and one of those major perks is that you could take an extra long Shavasana if you wanted to. But if you're going to end with me, then that's fine too. Just take your time making that transition onto your side. Hanging out for a breath or two. And then coming back up to sitting. Now, when you do come back up to sitting, if you've chosen to end your Shavasana, then just find your alignment one last time. If you're still doing Shavasana, then you keep it up. Checking in one last time. Let the palms of the hands come together. At the heart center, tucking your chin. Just sending yourself some gratitude for engaging in this gentle practice tonight. Hopefully it helps you to rest and have a good night's sleep. So, namaste, everybody. And again, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys again next Monday at 6:30 on this Neva Lomason library page. All right, take care.